I want you to listen carefully, for the words I speak are not my own, but rather the echoes of an eternal truth that has been whispered throughout the ages. This truth, my dear friends, is that your imagination is the very gateway to the reality you experience. It is the God-given power within you, the creative force that shapes your world. When I say believe you can and you are halfway there, I am not speaking of a mere mental exercise or a fleeting moment of positive thinking. No, I am referring to a state of consciousness, a profound inner knowing that transcends all doubt and limitation. This belief, this unwavering faith in your desired outcome, is the very substance of things hopeful, the evidence of things not yet seen in the physical realm. Consider for a moment the implications of this statement. If belief alone can propel you halfway towards your goal, then it stands to reason that the remaining distance is but a matter of allowing that belief to fully manifest in your experience. This is the essence of what I have long taught, that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions and beliefs. Let us delve deeper into this concept. When you truly believe you can achieve something, you have already created it in the realm of imagination. And make no mistake, the imagination is not some fanciful playground of idle thoughts. It is the very workshop of creation. It is in this inner world that all things find their origin before they are made manifest in the physical realm. Now, some of you may be thinking, but never have believed in things before, and they did not come to pass. To this I say, examine the nature of your belief. Was it a fleeting hope, a mere wish tossed into the universe like a penny into a wishing well? Or was it an unshakable knowing, a conviction so strong that you live from the joy, experiencing the joy and satisfaction of your desire fulfilled even before its physical manifestation? You see, my dear friends, the power of belief lies not in its density, but in its consistency and the feeling it evokes within you. When you truly believe you can accomplish something, you begin to embody the state of the wish fulfilled. You walk, talk, and breathe as though your desire has already been realized. This is not pretense or self-deception. It is the highest form of faith, the kind that moves mountains and parts seas. Let me illustrate this with a simple example. Imagine you desire a new job, one that fills you with purpose and provides other glitz. The conventional approach would be to search for openings, send out applications, and hope for the best. But this is not the way of the awakened imagination. Instead, I urge you to assume the feeling of already having this ideal job. As you lay in your bed at night, feel the satisfaction of a day well spent in your new position. Experience the joy of making a difference through your work. Feel the gratitude for the abundant compensation you receive. Live in this state night after night until it becomes your dominant feeling, your new reality. What you are doing in this exercise is far more powerful than any action you could take in the outer world. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind, the faithful servant that brings your assumptions to life, that the reality of your wish fulfilled and your subconscious being intimately connected with the infinite intelligence that governs the universe will set in motion a series of events to bring about the physical manifestation of your imaginal act. This, my friends, is the true meaning of believe you can, and you are halfway there. Your belief, when it reaches the level of absolute conviction, creates a bridge between your present circumstances and your desired state. It sets the stage for the miracle of manifestation to occur. But let me be clear, this is not about forcing changes in the outer world through sheer willpower. It is about changing your concept of self, your inner conversation, and your dominant feeling state. When you do this, the outer world has no choice but to conform to your new self-concept. For the outer is always a reflection of the inner. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Surely we must do something to achieve our goals. And to this, I say inspired action will naturally flow from your changed state of consciousness. When you truly believe in the reality or desire, you will find yourself moved to take steps that align with that reality. These actions will not feel like hard work or struggle, but rather like an effortless unfolding of events leading you to your desired end. Remember, the outer world is plastic and receptive to your inner assumptions. It is constantly being shaped and reshaped by the contents of your consciousness. Therefore, the most important work you can do is not in the outer world, but in the inner world of your imagination and beliefs. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on this profound truth. Close your eyes, if you will, and contemplate the goal that burns brightest in your heart. Perhaps it's a loving relationship, financial abundance, perfect health, or fulfilling career. Whatever it may be, I want you to imagine just for a moment that you have already achieved this goal. Feel the emotions that would accompany this achievement. Experience the joy, the satisfaction, the peace that comes with the realization of your desire. As you sit there embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled, know that you are engaging in the highest form of creative prayer. You are declaring to the universe, this is who I am, this is my reality. And the universe's infinite wisdom and perfect law must respond to this declaration. Now, open your eyes and carry this feeling with you. Let it infuse your thoughts, your words, and your actions. For in doing so, you are living from the end. And this is the secret to bringing your desires into manifestation. But I caution you, do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate results in the outer world. Remember, you are dealing with the invisible realm of causes, not the visible world of effects. Your task is to remain faithful to your imaginal act, to persist in the assumption that what you desire is already yours. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the face of contrary evidence, is what separates those who master the art of conscious creation from those who remain at the mercy of circumstance. It is easy to believe when all outer conditions support your belief. But it is in those moments when your senses deny your assumption that your faith is truly tested and strengthened. In the Bible, we find a perfect illustration of this principle in the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. For 6 days, Joshua and his army marched around the fortified city, blowing their trumpets, but seeing no change in the impenetrable walls. It would have been easy to doubt, to question the sanity of their actions, but they persisted in their faith. And on the 7th day, the walls came tumbling down. This, my dear friends, is the power of persistent assumption. The walls in your life, whether they be financial limitations, health challenges, or relationship obstacles, are no more real or permanent than the walls of Jericho. They are simply projections of your past assumptions and beliefs. And just as Joshua's persistent faith brought down physical walls, your unwavering belief in your desired state will cause the walls in your life to crumble and fall. But remember, it is not the physical act of marching or blowing trumpets that brings down the walls. It is the inner conviction, the absolute faith that the walls must fall because God has decreed it so. And who is this God that decrees such things? It is all wonderful human imagination, the divine spark within you that has the power to shape reality itself. Now, let us address a common misconception. Many believe that to achieve their goals, they must wrestle with current circumstances, fight against what is a struggle mightily to effect change. But I tell you, this approach is not only exhausting, but also counterproductive. For in fighting against your current reality, you are given power, acknowledging its permanence and thus perpetuating its existence. Instead, I urge you to adopt a different approach. Rather than fighting against what is, simply assume that what you desire to be is already a fact. Live from that assumption and watch as your outer world begins to shift and change to match your inner conviction. This, my friends, is the true meaning of the phrase, the battle is not yours but God's. The battle is not fought in the outer world of effects, but in the inner world of causes. Your task is not to make things happen, but to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and allow the infinite intelligence within you to bring about its manifestation in ways that you may not even be able to imagine. Let me share with you a personal experience that illustrates this principle. Many years ago, I found myself in dire financial straits. Bills were piling up and opportunities seemed scarce. The temptation to worry and struggle was great. But instead of succumbing to anxiety and frantic action, I chose to apply the principle I am sharing with you today. Each night as I lay in my bed, I assumed the feeling of financial abundance. I felt the joy of paying my bills with ease. I experienced the satisfaction of helping others from my overflow. I lived in my imagination as a man of wealth and generosity. I persisted in this assumption night after night, regardless of the seeming lack in my outer world. And then, my friends, the miracle unfolded. Within a matter of weeks, opportunities began to present themselves. A forgotten debt was repaid, and I'd expected speaking engagement came my way. My financial situation transformed so rapidly and dramatically that those around me were astounded. But I knew the source of this transformation. It was not luck or chance, but the natural result of my changed consciousness. This experience taught me a valuable lesson that our outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of our inner assumptions. Change the assumption, and the shadow must change. This is the law as exact and unfailing as any law in physics. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Wayne, surely it can't be that simple. There must be more to it than just believing. And to this I say, yes, it is that simple. And no, there is nothing more to it. But simple does not mean easy. The challenge lies not in the complexity of the process, but in your ability to persist in your assumption in the face of contradictory evidence. You see, when you first begin to apply this principle, your senses will rebel. They will shout at you, presenting evidence that seems to contradict your new assumption. This is the moment when many falter, when they abandon their imaginal act and return to their old patterns of thought and belief. But I urge you, my dear friends, to stand firm in these moments. Remember that your senses can only show you the effects of past beliefs and assumptions. They cannot peer into the invisible realm of causes where your new assumption is taking root and beginning to grow. Think of it like planting a seed in the ground. Once you've planted the seed, you don't dig it up every day to check on its progress. You trust in the invisible processes of nature to nurture that seed and bring it to fruition. In the same way, once you've planted the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your imagination, trust in the invisible processes of creation to bring it to manifestation. This trust, this unwavering faith, is what Jesus referred to when he said, "Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice the tense used here. Believe that you have received it, not that you will receive it. This is the secret of living from the end of experiencing the reality of your desire and your imagination before it manifests in the physical world. Now, let's delve deeper into the practical application of this principle. How do you cultivate this level of belief, this unwavering faith in your desired outcome? The key lies in your ability to create and sustain a particular feeling state. You see, my friends, your subconscious mind does not understand words in the way your conscious mind does. It responds to feelings, to emotions, to the sensory vividness of your imaginal acts. Therefore, to impress your desire upon your subconscious, you must feel the reality of it with all the intensity you can muster. Let's say, for example, that you desire a loving, harmonious relationship. It's not enough to simply repeat affirmations or visualize scenes of togetherness. You must feel the love, the warmth, the deep connection as though it were already a reality in your life. As you lie in your bed at night, feel the presence of your beloved beside you. Experience the comfort that they embrace, the sound of their loving words, the joy of shared laughter. Make this imaginal act so real, so vivid, that when you open your eyes, you're almost surprised to find yourself alone. This is the level of sensory vividness, of emotional intensity, that impresses your desire upon your subconscious mind and sets the wheels of manifestation in motion. But remember, this is not a one-time exercise. You must return to this state night after night, regardless of what your outer circumstances may showing you, for it is your persistence, your ability to maintain your assumption in the face of contrary evidence that demonstrates your faith and brings your desire into manifestation. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what if I can't sustain this feeling? What if doubts creep in? My dear friends, doubts are natural. They are the protest of your senses, the habits of your old consciousness asserting themselves. Do not fight these doubts for inviting them. You give them power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your assumption. Redirect your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Think of it like training a puppy. When the puppy wanders off, you don't scold it or become frustrated. You simply gently bring it back to where you want it to be. In the same way, when your mind wanders into doubt or negative thinking, gently but firmly bring it back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This practice, this constant returning to the state of your wish fulfilled, is what is meant a biblical injunction to pray without ceasing. It doesn't mean to constantly repeat words or petitions, but to maintain a state of consciousness, a feeling state that aligns with your desire. As you practice this, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural. What once required effort will become your default state. You will begin to live from the assumption of your wish fulfilled, and as you do, you will witness the miraculous unfolding of events in your world to match your inner conviction. But I caution you, do not become attached to the way in which your desire manifests. Your role is to assume the state of the wish fulfilled. It is not to dictate the means by which it comes about. The infinite intelligence that responds to your assumption knows far better than your conscious mind how to bring your desire into manifestation. Trust in this intelligence. Allow it to work on your behalf. Your job is simply to maintain your assumption, to live from the end, and to be open and receptive to the opportunities and circumstances that will inevitably arise to bridge the gap between your current reality and your desired state. Now, let's address another important aspect of this principle. When I say believe you can, and you are halfway there, I'm not suggesting that you should believe in your ability to make something happen. Rather, I'm urging you to believe in the present reality of your desire. You see, there's a subtle but crucial difference here. When you believe in your ability to achieve something, you are still placing your desire in the future, still seeing it as something to be attained. But when you believe in the present reality of your desire, you are acknowledging it as an already existing fact, simply awaiting your recognition and acceptance. This shift in perspective is powerful. It moves you from a state of wanting or needing to a state of having and being. And it is from this state of having and being that true creation occurs. Consider the biblical story of creation. God did not say, "Let there be light, and I hope it will come to pass." No, the declaration was clear and absolute. Let there be light. And likewise, this is the model of creation we are called to emulate. We are to declare the reality of our desire with the same absolute certainty, the same unwavering conviction. When you do this, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled with complete faith, you are exercising your divine creative power. You are aligning yourself with the very force that created the universe. And that same force will move heaven and earth to bring your assumption into physical manifestation. But remember, my dear friends, with great power comes great responsibility. As you begin to grasp the magnitude of this creative principle, you must also cultivate wisdom and discernment in its use. For just as you can create experiences of joy, abundance, and fulfillment, you can also, through misuse of this power, create experiences of lack, limitation, and suffering. Therefore, I urge you to be mindful of your thoughts, your inner conversations, and most importantly, your habitual feeling states. For these are the seeds from which your future experiences will grow. Plant wisely, tend to your mental garden with care, and you will reap a harvest beyond your wildest dreams. Now let us return to our central theme, believe you can and you are halfway there. As we've explored, this belief is not a mere intellectual assent to a possibility. It is a profound, unshakable knowing, a state of consciousness that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. When you truly believe, when you live from the assumption of you're fulfilled, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension. You activate a law as certain as gravity, a principle as reliable as the rising and setting of the sun. This law of this principle is that consciousness is the only reality, and what you assume as truly your consciousness must inevitably express itself in your outer world. But here's a crucial point that many miss. The power lies not in the belief itself, but in the feeling that the belief engenders. Your subconscious mind, the faithful servant that brings your assumptions to life, responds not to words or mental images alone, but being associated with those words and images. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and emotionally charged as possible. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of accomplishment that would accompany his realization that these feelings permit your entire being. For it is these feelings that impress your desire upon your subconscious and set the wheels of manifestation in motion. Now, some of you may be thinking, but never, I've tried this before and it didn't work. To this, I say, examine the nature of your attempt. Did you truly live from the end, consistently maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled? Or did you merely engage in periodic visualization or formation, all the while holding on to your old beliefs and assumptions? You see, my friends, this principle is not a technique to be applied sporadically. It is a way of life, a fundamental shift in how you relate reality itself. It requires persistence, patience, and above all, faith. Not blind faith in some external power, but faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. Let me share with you another personal experience that illustrates this point. Many years ago, I found myself in New York, broken, unemployed, longing to return to my home in Barbados. But I had no money for passage, and my family, struggling themselves, could not help me. Instead of succumbing to despair, I applied the principle we're discussing today. Each night I lay in my bed, I assumed the feeling of being in Barbados. I felt the tropical breeze on my skin, heard the familiar sounds of my homeland, experienced the joy of reuniting with my family. I lived in my imagination as though I were already there. I persisted in this assumption night after night, regardless of my outer circumstances. And then, my friend, the miracle unfolded. Within a matter of weeks, I received a letter from my brother containing the exact amount of money I needed for my passage home. The circumstances that led to this was so unlikely, so unexpected that to the outside observer, it would have seemed like pure chance or coincidence. But I knew better. I knew that this was the natural, inevitable result of my changed consciousness. By assuming the feeling of my wish fulfilled, I had set in motion a series of events that led to its physical manifestation. This experience taught me a valuable lesson that our outer world is infinitely more malleable, more responsive to our inner state than we have been led to believe. It showed me that when we change our concept of self, when we assume a new state of consciousness, the entire universe conspires to reflect back to us that new self-concept. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. Many ask, but what about other people? Surely we can't control their actions or decisions. And to this I say, you are not seeking to control others. You are aligning yourself with a state of consciousness in which your desire is already fulfilled. And in doing so, You will find that people in circumstances naturally arrange themselves to match your assumption. You see, other people in your life are not separate from you in the way you might think. In a very real sense, they are playing roles in the drama of your consciousness. As you shift your consciousness, as you assume a new state of being, you will find that others naturally respond in ways that support your new assumption. This is not manipulation or control. It is simply the outworking of a universal law that your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. As you change your concept of self, as you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find that the entire world reshapes itself to match your new self-concept. But remember, this principle is not about imposing your will on others or the world around you. It's about aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, about allowing your desire to manifest in harmony with highest good of all concerned. When you operate from this level of consciousness, you'll find that your manifestations unfold in ways that are often far more wonderful than you could have imagined or planned. Now, let us delve even deeper into the practical application of this principle. How do you maintain your assumption, your belief in the face of contrary evidence? How do you persist when your senses scream that what you're assuming isn't true? The key, my dear friends, lies in understanding the nature of time. You see, time as we experience it in the physical world is an illusion. In the realm of consciousness, in the world of imagination, all possibilities exist simultaneously. The state you desire to experience is not something in the future. It exists now in this eternal present moment. Your task is simply to shift your consciousness to align with that state. Think of it like tuning a radio. All stations are broadcasting simultaneously, but you can only hear the one to which your radio is tuned. In the same way, all possible states of being are available to you right now. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of desire. But here's the crucial point. You must stay tuned to that frequency. You must persist in your assumption, regardless of what your senses or your current circumstances are telling you. This persistence, this unwavering faith is what bridges the gap between your current reality and your desired state. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Nibble, this sounds like self-deception. Aren't we just fooling ourselves? To this I say what you call self-deception is actually the highest form of truth. For in assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are isling yourself a reality that already exists. It's in the realm of infinite possibilities. Remember, your current reality is nothing more than the picturing of your past assumptions and beliefs. It has no more prominence or reality than the state you desire to experience. The only difference is that you're giving the power of your belief far bigger. But the moment you shift your belief, the moment you begin to live from the assumption of your wish fulfilled, you set in motion a new sequence of events. You activate a new pattern of manifestation. And if you persist in this new assumption, it must inevitably express itself in your outer world. This, my friends, is the true meaning of faith. It is not blind belief in something unseen. It is the evidence of things not seen, the substance of things hoped for. When you have true faith, when you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you are not hoping for something to happen in the future. You are acknowledging a reality that already exists and allowing it to express itself in your experience. Now let me address another common concern. Many ask, what if my desire doesn't manifest immediately? What if I don't see results right away? To this I say, patience, my dear friends. Remember, you are dealing with the invisible realm of causes, not the visible world of effects. When a farmer plants a seed, he doesn't dig it up every day to check on his progress. He trusts in the invisible processes of nature to nurture that seed and bring it to fruition. In the same way, once you've planted the seed of your desire in the fire of soil, Soil imagination, trust in the invisible processes of creation to bring it to manifestation. Your outer world may not change overnight, but I assure you the moment you assume a new state of consciousness, things begin to shift. Opportunities arise, circumstances align, people enter your life, all in service of bringing your assumption into physical reality. Your task is simply to persist in your assumption, to maintain the feeling of being of your wish fulfilled, regardless of appearances, for it is your persistence that demonstrates your faith. And it is your faith that moves mountains. Let me share with you one final thought on this subject. The phrase "believe you can" and "you are halfway there" implies a journey, a process of becoming. But I want you to understand that in the realm of imagination, in the world of consciousness, there is no journey, there is only being. When you truly believe, when you fully assume the stake of your wish fulfilled, you are not halfway there, you are already there. The outer manifestation of your desire is simply the shadow catching up to the substance of your belief. This understanding liberates you from anxiety, from the constant striving and struggling that characterizes so much of human existence. It allows you to rest in the assurance that what you desire is already yours, already a fact in the realm of consciousness, simply awaiting your recognition and acceptance. So, my dear friends, as we conclude this discourse, I urge you to take these words to heart. Understand that you are not a helpless victim of circumstances, but a powerful creator shaping your reality through the power of your assumptions and beliefs. Believe you can. Yes, but more than that, believe you are. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, live from that assumption, persist in that state of consciousness, the process of appearances, and watch as the miracle of manifestation unfolds in your life. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. What you see and experience is nothing more than the reflection of your own consciousness. Change your consciousness and you change your world. Go forth now armed with this knowledge, this understanding of your true creative power. Apply these principles in your life, test them, prove them to yourself. For in doing so, you will discover the truth of who you really are, a divine being created in the image and likeness of God, with the power to shape your reality according to your highest ideas and deepest desires. Believe you can, and you are not just halfway there, you are already there in the realm of pure potential, pure creativity. Your task now is simply to allow that inner reality to express itself in your outer world. Go in peace, go with power, go with the absolute assurance that what you desire is already yours, for in truth it always has been. You need only to awaken to this reality and claim your divine inheritance. Thank you, and may your life be a living testimony to the creative power that resides within you. Let us begin by understanding the true nature of belief. Belief, my dear listeners, is not merely a fleeting thought or a hopeful wish. It is a state of consciousness, a living, breathing reality within you. When you truly believe, you are not simply entertaining a possibility. You are embodying a certainty. You are living from the end, experiencing in your imagination the fulfillment of your desire as an accomplished fact. Now, you may ask, Wayne, how can mere belief make everything possible? To answer this, we must first grasp the fundamental truth of our existence. Consciousness is the only reality. The world you perceive around you, with all its seeming solidity and permanence, is nothing more than an outpicturing of your own consciousness. It is a shadow, a reflection of the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. When you change your beliefs, when you alter the contents of your consciousness, the world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. It must, for there's no other power in the universe save that which beats within your own heart, that which resides in your own magnificent human imagination. Consider for a moment the things you currently believe to be true about yourself and your world. Perhaps you believe that success is hard to come by, that love is elusive, that abundance is for others but not for you. These beliefs, whether you're conscious of them or not, are shaping your experience at this very moment. They are the invisible architects of your life, constructing your reality brick by brick, experience by experience. But here's the wonderful truth, my friends. Just as you have accepted these limiting beliefs, you have the power to accept new, empowering ones. You have the God-given ability to choose your beliefs, to select the assumptions upon which you will build your life. And when you exercise this power, when you dare to believe in the fulfillment of your heart's desires, you set in motion forces beyond your wildest dreams. Let me share with you a principle that has the power to revolutionize your understanding of belief and manifestation. It is that the feeling is the secret. When you believe that something is possible, truly possible for you, you experience a distinct feeling. It is a feeling of naturalness, of rightness. Of course, this is mine. This feeling is not one of anxious hoping or desperate wishing. It is a calm. It is the feeling of one who knows that their good is already theirs, who understands that what they desire is already accomplished in the realm of infinite possibilities, waiting only for their acceptance to be made manifest in the world of form. To cultivate this feeling, to nurture this belief, you must make use of your imaginative faculty. For your imagination, my dear friends, is nothing less than God in action within you. It is the creative power of the universe, localized and individualized in you. When you use your imagination to create a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire, when you enter into that scene and experience it as real, you are exercising your divine prerogative as a co-creator with God. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this approach only perpetuates the experience of lack. Instead, I urge you to do this. Close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies your financial abundance is a present fact. Perhaps you see yourself confidently paying all your bills with ease. Perhaps you imagine a conversation with a friend where you casually mention your flourishing bank account, or maybe you feel the joy and freedom of making a significant donation to a cause close to your heart. Whatever scene feels most natural to you, enter into it fully. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the sense of security that comes with financial abundance. As you imagine this scene, as you feel the reality of it, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. This seed, nurtured by your belief, watered by your feeling of naturalness, will grow into your physical reality. Remember, my friends, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. To your subconscious, they are one and the same. Now, some of you may be thinking, but never. I've tried to believe before. I've tried to be positive, to think good thoughts, but nothing changed. To this I sigh. Pleading surface-level affirmations are not enough. What is required is a fundamental shift in your state of consciousness. You must become the person who already has what you desire. You must live from the end. This, my dear listeners, is the art of assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you walk and talk and think from the standpoint of your desire accomplished, you're aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are stepping into the role of the person you wish to be, and in doing so, you compel the outer world to reflect this new inner reality. Let me share with you a story that illustrates the power of belief and assumption. I once knew a man who had been unemployed for months. He had applied for countless jobs, gone on numerous interviews, but to no avail. With each rejection, his belief in his own employability diminished, and his outer world faithfully reflected this belief. One day, after hearing me speak on these principles, he decided to apply them. Instead of continuing to search desperately for a job, he began to assume the feeling of being gainfully employed. Each night, before sleeping, He would imagine himself driving to work, sitting at his desk, interacting with colleagues. He felt the satisfaction of a job well done, the security of a regular paycheck. Within 2 weeks, he received a call from a company he had interviewed with months ago. They had an opening and thought of immediately. He was offered the job on the spot, at a salary higher than he had initially hoped for. This, my friends, is the power of belief in action. When he changed his assumption, when he dared to believe in his employed state, the outer world rearranged itself to match his inner conviction. Now, I want to address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. You may be wondering, if everything is possible when I believe, does that mean I can believe in anything, and no matter how fantastic or improbable? Yes, absolutely yes. Remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than an outpicturing of consciousness. The laws that seem to govern it, the limitations that appear to constrain it, exist only because you have given them power through your belief. In the realm of infinite possibilities, which is the true nature of reality, there are no limitations save those you accept in your own mind. The only boundaries are those you draw with your own beliefs. When you truly grasp this truth, when you internalize it and live from it, you will understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible to you. Consider the great innovators and visionaries throughout history. These were individuals who dared to believe in possibilities that others dismissed as fantasy. They held fast to their vision, even in the face of ridicule and opposition. In doing so, they reshaped the world. They did not bow to the limitations of consensus reality. Instead, they used the power of their belief to bring into manifestation that which had previously been deemed impossible. You, my dear friends, have the same power within you. You have the ability to reshape your world, to bring into being experiences and achievements that others might label as impossible. But to do this, you must be willing to stand firm in your belief, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. You must be willing to walk by faith and not by sight, trusting in the invisible reality of your imagination more than the visible facts of your current circumstances. Let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. When you choose to believe in the possibility of your desire, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are actually shifting your entire state of consciousness. You are moving from one state to state of lack, or wanting to another state to state of fulfillment. This shift in consciousness is far more than a mental exercise. It is a repositioning of your entire being. It affects not only your thoughts, but your emotion, your energy, your very vibration. And as you maintain this new state, as you consistently occupy this new position in consciousness, your outer world must, by the immutable laws of creation, begin to reflect this shift. Think of it like this. Your consciousness is like a radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting a signal to the universe. This signal is composed of your beliefs, your assumptions, your dominant thoughts and feelings. The universe, like a cosmic radio receiver, picks up this signal and responds by orchestrating events, encounters, and circumstances that match your broadcast. When you change your beliefs, when you assume a new state, you're essentially changing the frequency of your broadcast. And just as surely as changing the station on a radio brings in a different program, changing your inner state brings about a different outer experience. Now, I want to address a common stumbling block that many encounter on this journey of conscious creation. Often when people first hear these teachings, they become excited and immediately try to believe in the biggest, most audacious desires they can imagine. While I applaud this enthusiasm, I must caution belief through belief is not something that can be forced or faked. You cannot trick your subconscious mind. You cannot fool the universe. If you try to believe in something that feels utterly foreign or impossible to you, you will only create inner conflict and frustration. Instead, I urge you to start with what I call the art of the possible. Begin by choosing beliefs that stretch you slightly beyond your current experience, but not so far that they feel completely unattainable. As you successfully manifest these smaller desires, as you prove to yourself the power of your belief, you will naturally expand your sense of what's possible. Your faith will grow, your belief will strengthen, and you will find yourself capable of assuming states that once seemed out of reach. Remember, my friends, this is not a race. It is not a competition. It is a journey of self-discovery, a process of unveiling your own divine nature. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle, but also be persistent. For with each belief you successfully embody, with each desire you bring into manifestation, you are expanding your consciousness and increasing your power as a deliberate creator. Now, let us address another crucial aspect of this process, the role of action. Some misinterpret these teachings to mean that belief alone is sufficient, that one can simply sit back and wait for their desires to manifest. While it's true that the inner work of consciousness is the most important part of the creative process, it does not negate the need for inspired action. When you truly believe in the possibility of your desire, when you fully assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with this new state. These actions will not feel forced or stressful. They will not come from a place of lack or desperation. Instead, they will feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is because when you are living from the state of the wish fulfilled, you are allowing your expanded consciousness to guide your actions. You are tapping into a wisdom beyond your limited ego mind. The actions you take from this state will be far more effective, far more aligned with the realization of your desire than any amount of frantic doing from a state of lack or need. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine you desire a romantic partnership. You could spend your time desperately searching for love, going on countless dates, trying to force a connection. Or you could assume the state of being in a loving relationship. You could feel the joy, the companionship, the deep connection in your imagination. From this state, your actions would be very different. You might find yourself naturally engaging in activities you enjoy, radiating a sense of fulfillment and self-love. You might find yourself more open, more approachable, more authentically yourself. And in this state, you are far more likely to attract the right person into your life, often in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. This, my dear friends, is the dance between inner states and outer actions. When your inner state is aligned with your desire, your outer actions become a joyful expression of that alignment rather than a desperate attempt to fill a perceived lack. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing the power of belief. What about other people? Can my belief change their behavior to override their free will? This is a profound question that touches on the very nature of our shared reality. Remember, my friends, that everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are reflections of your consciousness playing roles that correspond to your beliefs and assumptions. This does not mean they are not real or that they don't have their own consciousness. Rather, it means that your experience of them, your interaction with them, is shaped by your own state of consciousness. When you change your beliefs about someone, when you assume a new state in relation to them, you are not manipulating them or overriding their free will. You're simply shifting to a parallel reality where they behave in accordance with your new assumption. In essence, you are choosing to experience a version of them that aligns with your new state. This understanding has profound implications for all your relationships. It means that if you want to experience a change in someone's behavior towards you, the most effective approach is not to try to change them directly, but to change your own assumptions about them. As you hold steadfastly to this new assumption, as you live from the state where they are as you desire them to be, You will find your experiences with them transforming, often in ways that seem miraculous. Let's take this principle even further. When you truly understand that everything is possible when you believe, you begin to take full responsibility for your entire life experience. You recognize that every circumstance, every encounter, every event in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. This realization is incredibly empowering, for it means that by changing your consciousness, you can change anything in your life. Are you experiencing financial lack? Look to your beliefs about money and abundance. You find yourself in unfulfilling relationships. Examine your assumptions about love and your own worthiness. Is your health less than optimal? Consider your beliefs about your body and its capacity for well-being. In every area of your life, you have the power to choose new beliefs, to assume new states of consciousness. And as you do so, as you consistently embody these new states, you will watch in awe as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner convictions. Now, some of you may be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, Wayne, but how do I maintain this belief, this new state of consciousness when my current reality seems to contradict it? This, my friends, is where the real work begins. This is where you must exercise your spiritual muscles, where you must demonstrate your faith in the unseen reality of your imagination over the apparent facts of your physical senses. Remember, your physical senses show you only the effects of past beliefs and assumptions. They show you where you have been in consciousness, not where you are going. If you wait for your outer world to change before you change your belief, you will wait forever. You must have the courage to believe in the reality of your imagined state, even when your senses deny it. This does not mean you ignore your current reality or pretend it doesn't exist. Rather, it means you give more importance, more attention, more emotional intensity to your desired state than to your current circumstances. You acknowledge your present situation, but you do not give it power over your imagination. One powerful technique for maintaining your desired state in the face of contradictory circumstances is what I call living in the end. This involves creating a short, symbolic scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire and returning to this scene repeatedly throughout your day. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, your scene might be looking at a bank statement showing a large balance or shaking hands with someone who is congratulating you on your financial success. The specifics of the scene are not as important as the feeling it evokes. As you return to this scene again and again, as you step into it and feel it as real, you are reinforcing your new state of consciousness, strengthening your belief in the possibility of your desire. Another powerful tool for maintaining your belief is gratitude. When you cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for your desire, as if it were already fulfilled, you align yourself with the frequency of having rather than wanting. Gratitude is the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is the emotional state of one who knows their good is already theirs. Practice feeling grateful for your desire throughout your day. Give thanks for it as you wake in the morning and as you lay down to sleep at night. Let gratitude infuse your entire being. For when you are truly grateful, you cannot simultaneously feel lack or anxiety. Gratitude and faith go hand in hand, each reinforcing the other. Now, my dear friends, as we delve deeper into this exploration of gratitude, of the power of belief, I want to address a common misconception. Many people, when they first encounter these teachings, believe that they must maintain a constant state of positive thinking, that they must never allow a negative thought to enter their minds. This is not only impossible but unnecessary. You are human, and it is natural for doubts and fears to arise, especially when you are stretching beyond your current experience. The key is not to eliminate these thoughts entirely, but to not dwell on them, to not give them power. When a doubting thought arises, simply acknowledge it, and then gently return your attention to your desired state. Think of it like this. Your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. You cannot prevent birds from flying over your garden, but you can prevent them from nesting there. In the same way, you cannot prevent every negative thought from crossing your mind. But you can choose not to nurture these thoughts, not to water them with your attention and emotional energy. Instead, focus on planting and nurturing the seeds of your desired reality. Water them with your attention, fertilize them with your emotion, tend to them with your consistent assumption of the state of wish fulfilled. As you do this, these seeds will grow strong, eventually crowding out the weeds of doubt and disbelief. Remember, my friends, belief is not a one-time event. It is not something you do once and then sit back and wait for results. Belief, true belief that makes all things possible, is a practice. It is something you cultivate daily, hourly, moment by moment. It is a way of life, a constant choosing to align yourself with the reality you desire to experience. As you embark on this journey of conscious creation, of living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you may encounter resistance from those around you. Friends, family, even your own habitual patterns of thought may seem to conspire against your new understanding. This is natural and to be expected. The world around you is accustomed to your old state of consciousness and may initially resist your attempts to shift to a new state. Do not let this deter you. Remember, everyone in your world is you pushed out. Their resistance is simply a reflection of your own doubts and fears. As you stand firm in your new state, as you persist in your assumption of your wish fulfilled, you will find that the world around you has no choice but to conform to your new consciousness. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the face of apparent contradiction, is what separates those who truly manifest their desires from those who merely wish and hope. It is the difference between those who live lives of miraculous achievement and those who remain bound by the limitations of their past beliefs. Now, let us address another crucial aspect of this process: detachment. Many of you, in your eagerness to manifest your desires, may find yourselves obsessing over the when and how of your manifestation. You may find yourself constantly checking for signs, anxiously awaiting the physical proof of your desires' fulfillment. But remember, my dear friends, attachment to outcomes is a form of doubt. It is an implicit statement that you do not truly believe in the reality of your desire. But if you truly believed, if you were living completely from the state of wish fulfilled, you would feel no need to anxiously await its manifestation. You would know with unshakable certainty that it is already yours. This is why I often say, live as though you have it. When you completely relax into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you can go about your day secure in the knowledge that your desire is already a fait accompli in the realm of infinite possibilities, you open the way for its swift manifestation in your physical reality. Detachment does not mean you don't care about your desire. On the contrary, it means you care so deeply, you believe so completely that you can readily and easily manifest your desires, that you can rest in the absolute assurance of its fulfillment. It is a state of peaceful expectancy, of calm certainty. It is the feeling of one who knows their good is already theirs and is content to allow it to unfold in divine timing. As you practice living from this state of calm assurance, you will find that your manifestations come about in ways that are often surprising and delightful. The how and when of your desires' fulfillment will often exceed your limited imagination. For remember, the infinite intelligence of the universe has access to possibilities far beyond what your rational mind can conceive. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to assume the state of its fulfillment, to live from the end, and to allow the creative power of the universe to bring about its manifestation in the most perfect way. Now, I want to address a question that often arises as people begin to experience success with these principles. They ask, Wayne, If everything is possible when I believe, does that mean I can manifest anything no matter how grand or seemingly impossible? And to this I say, yes, absolutely. Remember, my dear friends, the only limits that exist are those you accept in your own mind. The universe is infinite, and you are a divine being with access to all the power of creation. When you truly grasp this, when you fully embody this truth, you will understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, is beyond your ability to manifest. With great power comes great responsibility. As you begin to grasp the true extent of your creative ability, it becomes crucial to examine your desires carefully. Ask yourself, is this desire in alignment with my highest good and the highest good of all? Does it come from a place of love and expansion or from fear and luck? Well, you see, my friends, when you understand the power of your consciousness to shape reality, you also understand that you are responsible for everything you create. There is no one else to blame, no external circumstances to point to. You are the author of your life story, the creator of your reality. This realization can be both liberating and sobering. It means that you have the power to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, but it also means that if you are experiencing circumstances you do not desire, you must look within to find the source of these experiences in your own consciousness. As you continue on this journey of conscious creation, of living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. As you experience the joy of manifesting your initial desires, as you prove to yourself the power of your consciousness, you will naturally begin to desire experiences of greater expansion, of deeper fulfillment, of more profound service to others. This is the natural evolution of consciousness. As you grow in your understanding and application of these principles, you will find yourself desiring not just personal gain, but the upliftment of all humanity. You will begin to see yourself not as a separate individual striving for personal success, but as an integral part of the cosmic whole, using your creative power for the benefit of all. And this, my dear friends, is where the true magic happens. When you align your desires with the highest good of all, when you use your creative power in service of love and expansion, you tap into a power beyond anything you've previously experienced. You become a channel for divine creativity, a vessel through which the infinite intelligence of the universe can express itself in ever more beautiful and harmonious ways. As we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. The power to believe, to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, to live from the end is not just a tool for manifesting material desires. It is, in essence, your birthright as a divine being. It is the means by which you fulfill your highest purpose, express your truest self, and contribute to the ongoing evolution of consciousness. When you truly believe that everything is possible, when you live from the state of infinite potential, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your very presence inspires others to question their own limitations, to reach for their own dreams. Your life becomes a living testament to the creative power of consciousness, a demonstration of what is possible when one dares to believe. So go forth, my dear friends, with this knowledge burning brightly within you. Know that you are not bound by the limitations of your past, by the constraints of your current circumstances, or by the doubts of those around you. You are a divine creator, capable of reshaping your reality in accordance with your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Believe in the power of your consciousness. Believe in the power of your consciousness. Trust in the reality of your imagination. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. For when you do, when you truly embody this state of being, you will find that everything, absolutely everything, is possible. The entire universe conspires to bring your desires into manifestation, often in ways more wonderful than you could have imagined. Remember, the feeling is the secret. Cultivate the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Nurture it with your attention, feed it with your emotion, protect it from the doubts and fears that may arise. As you do this, as you persist in this state, despite all apparent contradictions, you will watch in AA as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. And as you experience success, as you manifest your desires and reshape your reality, remember to share this knowledge with others, not through preaching or proselytizing, but through living example. Let your life be a testament to the power of belief. Let your achievements inspire others to question their own limitations and reach for their own dreams. For in truth, my dear friends, when you understand and apply these principles, when you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you become a co-creator with the divine. You step into your true power as a conscious, deliberate creator of your reality. And in doing so, you contribute to the ongoing evolution of consciousness, to the gradual awakening of all humanity, to its divine nature and infinite potential. So go now with this knowledge burning brightly within you. Believe in the power of your consciousness. Trust in the reality of your imagination. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. For when you do, you will find that truly. When you believe everything is possible, the entire universe is yours to shape, to mold, to create in accordance with your highest vision. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who decides what is possible and what is not. Choose wisely, believe fully, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. For you are, in truth, the very power of creation itself, individualized in human form. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and step into the magnificent, miraculous life. That is your divine birthright. Go forth and create. My dear friends, the world awaits your conscious command. Everything is possible when you believe. This is the truth that will set you free, the knowledge that will empower you to live the life of your dreams. Embrace it fully, embody it completely, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For when you believe, truly believe, everything is possible. My friends, my brothers and sisters, I stand before you today with a message that has the power to transform your lives in the most profound and miraculous ways. It is a message that has the potential to unlock the infinite possibilities that lie dormant within each and every one of you. You see, my dear friends, the truth that I come to share with you today is this. You are not merely the limited finite beings that you have been conditioned to believe yourselves to be. No. My friends, you are so much more than that. You are divine, infinite, and eternal beings. Creatures of pure consciousness endowed with the power to create your own reality, to manifest your deepest desires, and to live a life of unimaginable fulfillment and joy. And yet, so many of us go through life trapped in the limiting beliefs and stories that have been handed down to us generation after generation. We are told that we are small, that we are powerless, that we must conform to the expectations of others in order to be accepted and valued. We are taught to doubt our own inner voice, to second guess our intuitions, and to constantly seek validation from the external world. But my friends, I am here to tell you that this is all a grand illusion, a veil of ignorance that has been carefully woven to keep us from remembering our true nature, our infinite potential. Because the truth is, you are not just a physical body, a collection of cells and atoms. You are a being of pure consciousness, a divine spark of the infinite, the eternal, the all-encompassing source that is the foundation of all creation. And when you learn to tap into that truth, when you learn to act as if you already are the person you wish to become, that is when the magic truly begins to happen. Because you see, my friends, the universe is not some cold, indifferent force that operates according to the laws of cause and effect. No. The universe is a living, breathing, intelligent field of energy that responds to the vibrations, the beliefs, and the actions of the conscious beings that inhabit it. And when you learn to align your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors with the vision of the person, you wish to become, when you learn to act as if that reality is already your own, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. It is the immutable law of attraction, the fundamental principle that governs the manifestation of all things, like attracts like. And when you embody the energy, the vibration of the person you wish to become, the universe will conspire to bring that reality into form. But my friends, this is not just some abstract metaphysical concept. This is a practical, tangible truth that you can begin to apply in your life right here, right now. Because the truth is, we are not just passive observers in this grand cosmic dance. We are the co-creators, the architects of our own destinies. And when we learn to harness the power of our thoughts, our beliefs and our actions, we unlock a level of abundance, fulfillment and joy that goes far beyond anything we could have ever imagined. Just imagine, my friends, what would happen if you truly believed with every fiber of your being that you were the person you wished to become? What if you woke up every morning and looked in the mirror and saw not the limited, finite being that you've been conditioned to see, but rather the powerful, confident and successful individual that, deep down you are capable of becoming? What if you walked through your day, carried yourself with the poise and grace of the person you wish to embody, and took actions that were fully aligned with that vision? Do you not think, my friends, that the universe would respond in kind? That the opportunities, the resources, the support that you need to bring that vision into reality would begin to manifest all around you? You see, the key is not to simply wish or hope or pray for the things that you desire. The key is to become the person who already possesses those things. To live and breathe and act as if your desired reality is already there. Because when you do that, my friends, you are no longer operating from a place of lack or limitation. You are operating from a place of absolute abundance, of infinite possibility, of pure, unadulterated power. And the beauty of it is, my friends, that this is not some special gift or talent that only a few lucky individuals possess. No, this is a universal principle, a fundamental truth that applies to each and every one of us, regardless of our circumstances, our backgrounds, or our past experiences. All that is required is a willingness to step out of the limiting beliefs and stories that have been holding us back, and to embrace the truth of who we really are. Because, you see, my friends, the person you wish to become, the vision of yourself that you hold so dearly in your heart, that is not some distant, unattainable dream. No, that is the truest, most authentic expression of your divine infinite self. It is the essence of who you already are. The version of yourself that is just waiting to be fully realized and expressed. And when you learn to act as if that person is already your own, when you learn to embody the thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors of the individual you wish to become, you are no longer operating from a place of lack or limitation. Instead, you are tapping into the infinite well of creative potential that resides within you and allowing it to manifest in the physical world. It's like planting a seed, my friends. You can't simply wish for a tree to grow. You have to nurture the seed, water it, and create the conditions that allow it to thrive. And in the same way, you can't just wish for the life of your dreams to manifest. You have to embody the energy, the vibration of the person who already possesses those things. You have to act as if your desired reality is already your own. And when you do, my friends, the results can be truly astonishing. Because you see, the universe is not just some cold, indifferent force. It is a living, breathing, intelligent field of energy that responds to the beliefs, the emotions, and the actions of the conscious beings that inhabit it. And when you learn to align yourself with the vibration of the person you wish to become, when you learn to act as if that reality is already your own, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Opportunities will begin to present themselves. Resources will start to flow in your direction. And the people, the circumstances, and the conditions that you need to bring your vision into reality will begin to manifest all around you. It's like magic, my friends. But it's not magic at all. It's simply the natural, inevitable result of aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the truth of who you really are. And the best part is, my friends, is that this is not some fleeting, temporary high. No. When you learn to embody the energy, the vibration of the person you wish to become, it becomes a way of being, a new lens through which you view the world and your place in it. It's a shift in consciousness, a profound transformation that ripples out into every aspect of your life, creating a wave of abundance, fulfillment, and joy that is truly unstoppable. Because you see, my friends, when you learn to act as if you already are the person you wish to become, you are no longer operating from a place of lack or limitation. Instead, you are tapping into the infinite well of creative potential that resides within you and allowing it to manifest in the physical world in the most miraculous and awe-inspiring ways. Suddenly, the things that once seemed impossible become not just possible, but inevitable. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable start to crumble, and you find yourself navigating through life with a newfound sense of ease, grace, and deep, abiding fulfillment. And my friends, I know that some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, how do I do this? How do I learn to embody the energy, the vibration of the person I wish to become? And the answer, my dear friends, is simpler than you might think. It all starts with a shift in your mindset, a willingness to step out of the limiting beliefs and stories that have been holding you back. It's about letting go of the need to constantly seek validation from the external world and instead turning inward to the infinite well of wisdom and power that resides within you. Because you see, my friends, the person you wish to become is not some distant, unattainable dream. It is the truest, most authentic expression of your divine, infinite self. It is the essence of who you already are, just waiting to be fully realized and expressed. And when you learn to act as if that person is already your own, when you learn to embody the thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors of the individual you wish to become, something truly remarkable begins to happen. You start to see the world through a lens of infinite possibility, of pure, unadulterated joy. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable start to crumble, and you find yourself navigating through life with a newfound sense of ease, grace, and deep, abiding fulfillment. It's like waking up from a dream, my friends, and realizing that the life you've been longing for is not some distant, unattainable fantasy, but rather the reality that is already yours to claim. All it takes is a willingness to let go of the limiting beliefs and stories that have been holding you back and to embrace the truth of who you really are. And the beauty of it is, this is not some special gift or talent that only a few lucky individuals possess. No, this is a universal principle, a fundamental truth that applies to each and every one of us, regardless of our circumstances or our past experiences. We all have the power to create our own reality, to manifest our deepest desires, and to live a life of unimaginable abundance and joy. All it takes is a shift in perspective, a willingness to see yourself not as the limited, finite being that you've been conditioned to believe, but rather as the divine, infinite, and eternal being that you truly are. And when you do that, my friends, the world starts to open up in ways that you can scarcely imagine. Opportunities that were once invisible to you start to present themselves. Resources that you didn't even know existed begin to flow in your direction. And the people, the circumstances, and the conditions that you need to bring your vision into reality start to manifest all around you. It's like magic, but it's not magic at all. It's simply the natural, inevitable result of aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the truth of who you really are. And the best part is, this is not just a temporary high, my friends. No, when you learn to embody the energy, the vibration of the person you wish to become. It becomes a way of being, a new lens through which you view the world and your place in it. It's a shift in consciousness, a profound transformation that ripples out into every aspect of your life, creating a wave of abundance, fulfillment, and joy that is truly unstoppable. Because you see, my friends, the person you wish to become is not some distant, unattainable dream. It is the truest, most authentic expression of your divine, infinite self. It is the essence of who you already are, just waiting to be fully realized and expressed. And when you learn to act as if that person is already your own, when you learn to embody the thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors of the individual you wish to become, you are no longer operating from a place of lack or limitation. Instead, you are tapping into the infinite well of creative potential that resides within you and allowing it to manifest in the physical world in the most miraculous and awe-inspiring ways. Suddenly, the things that once seemed impossible become not just possible but inevitable. The barriers that once seemed insurmountable start to crumble, and you find yourself navigating through life with a newfound sense of ease and deep, abiding fulfillment. It's a truly remarkable transformation, my friends, and one that I believe each and every one of you is capable of experiencing. Because the truth is, we are not just passive observers in this grand cosmic dance. We are the co-creators, the architects of our own destinies. And when we learn to harness the power of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, we unlock a level of abundance, fulfillment, and joy that goes far beyond anything we could have ever imagined. So I ask you, my dear friends, what is the vision that you hold so dearly in your heart? What is the person that you wish to become, the life that you long to live? And more importantly, what are you willing to do to make that vision a reality? Because the truth is, the power to transform your life is already within you. You have been endowed with the infinite potential to create, to manifest, and to live a life of unimaginable abundance and joy. All that is required is a willingness to step out of the limiting beliefs and stories that have been holding you back, and to embrace the truth of who you really are. And when you do that, my friends, the world will start to open up in ways that you can scarcely imagine. Opportunities will present themselves. Resources will flow in your direction. And the people, the circumstances, and the conditions that you need to bring your vision into reality will begin to manifest all around you. It's a truly remarkable process, my friends, and one that I believe each and every one of you is capable of experiencing. Because the truth is, we are not just passive observers in this grand cosmic dance. We are the co-creators, the architects of our own destinies. And when we learn to harness the power of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, we unlock a level of abundance, fulfillment, and joy that goes far beyond anything we could have ever imagined. So I ask you, my dear friends, what is the vision that you hold so dearly in your heart? What is the person that you wish to become, the life that you long to live, and more importantly, what are you willing to do to make that vision a reality? Because the truth is, the power to transform your life is already within you. You have been endowed with the infinite potential to create, to manifest, and to live a life of unimaginable abundance and joy. All that is required is a willingness to step out of the limiting beliefs and stories that have been holding you back and to embrace the truth of who you really are. And when you do that, my friends, the world will start to open up in ways that you can scarcely imagine. Opportunities will present themselves. Resources will flow in your direction. And the people, the circumstances, and the conditions that you need to bring your vision into reality will begin to manifest all around you. It's a truly remarkable process, my friends, and one that I believe each and every one of you is capable of experiencing. Because the truth is, we are not just passive observers in this grand cosmic dance. We are the co-creators, the architects of our own destinies. And when we learn to harness the power of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, we unlock a level of abundance, fulfillment, and joy that goes far beyond anything we could have ever imagined. So I ask you again, my dear friends, what is the vision that you hold so dearly in your heart? What is the person that you wish to become, the life that you long to live? And more importantly, what are you willing to do to make that vision a reality? Because the truth is, my friends, the only thing standing in your way is the limiting beliefs and stories that you have been carrying around with you for far too long. Let them go, my friends. Let them go and embrace the truth of who you really are, a divine, infinite, and eternal being endowed with the power to create your own reality, to manifest your deepest desires, and to live a life of unimaginable abundance and joy. It's time to stop playing small, my friends. It's time to step into the fullness of who you are, to claim the life that you were born to live. And when you do that, when you learn to act as if you already are the person you wish to become, the universe will respond in kind, conspiring to bring that vision into form in the most miraculous and awe-inspiring ways. So what are you waiting for, my friends? The time is now. The power is yours, and the life of your dreams is just waiting to be claimed. So let's do it together. Let's rise up. Let's break free from the chains of our own limiting beliefs. And let's create a world that is more beautiful, more abundant, and more joyful than we could have ever imagined. Because, my friends, the truth is this: you are not just ordinary beings limited by the circumstances of your life. No, you are extraordinary, divine, and infinitely powerful. And when you learn to act as if you already are the person you wish to become, when you learn to embody the energy, the vibration of your highest self, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So let's do it, my friends. Let's step into the fullness of who we are, and let's create the life that we were born to live. Let's be the change that we wish to see in the world, and let's inspire others to do the same. Because when we do that, my friends, the possibilities are truly endless.